Okay, it's the day after I painted this, and as you can see on the body, the little specks, those are gas bubbles. I put the paint on a little too thick. It was really hot yesterday. It's hot today. I was having a little trouble with the sprayer and it got a little bit impatient. Really laid it on there, but I think those will all sand out because I've got a number of coats of paint on that. The back side has the same thing, but the neck does not. I don't know what I did different there. Gave it less coats. I don't know. But the neck, it's hard to see in this light. I don't want to handle it too much. But the neck is okay. Doesn't have any. And then you get up to the headstock and you got it again. But this is all going to get covered up with clear and, well, some paint, some clear, and a lot of glitter, and then more clear. And it will be flat when I'm working on it, and I won't be as prone to getting carried away. I also got, let's see, this side here, it's got a little bit, but the paint's pretty even. This side here where I had to spray up, I got a little carried away. I got a run, let's see right there along the edge. It's kind of hard to see. There it is. You can see a good reflection. And a big drip down here, which I already broke off. And those will sand off. This stuff's pretty soft yet. It's got to hang another day before I go messing around with it, hitting it with sandpaper. But it'll be soft enough to where it'll probably gum up a lot of paper, but it'll also sand off like butter. So that's going to be next. Okay, I just got to admit, it's been a number of years since I've painted and worked on guitars. So 6 or 8, it's been a while. So I'm having to relearn some hard lessons, like how much paint you can put on before it takes off running on you. Because I got a nice little run here along the edge of the neck, but that's no big deal. I'll get that sanded out. You can see the big run right there. And, you know, there's a few more. The top's not perfectly flat. I did make me a new sanding block out of a piece of plexiglass. So I just scored it with a razor knife and snapped it out of a piece of scrap that I had. I'm going to use this because I'm going to need a nice firm surface that's rigid in order to get all these parts leveled out on here. So that being said, I'm going to get to work on this. And oh yeah, this one is getting the glitter on it. So anything that's wrong with this paint job at all is going to get buried under glitter. So I'm not worried about it. That's why I started with glitter instead of doing an airbrush job, because it's been a long time. So we're going to do a few glitter ones and then I'll start doing some airbrush work. All right, I guess you're just going to get all the dirty details this time. I absolutely hate sanding out runs. You see what happens? You end up with thin paint where the run doesn't exist, thick paint where there's a run, and then there's that gap between. You got to work the one part down till it's level with the rest of it. Well, I didn't get much paint right here. We got way too much on the back and it ran down right there. So I'll get this off of here, but then before I do the sparkle, I'll have everything masked off. I'll touch up anything I need to with blue, or if it's white, it'll be white. So that has yet to be seen, but we'll get all that fixed as we go. But I want you guys to see all of the problems that you could possibly run into while you're doing something like this. The run's gone now. The little dark spot you see there, that's moisture from, I just wiped it with the wet cloth. This part here is going to get covered with glitter. This part here is not. So anything I need to do as far as touch-up goes, I'm in pretty good shape down here. But any of the graphics and stuff from now on, as far as the paint, I'm going to be using an airbrush, not the big sprayer. So it's going to be very detailed, precise work. So I sand through right there. You can see the primer. Not a big deal. I'll shoot a couple of coats of white on there before we start the glitter. I think the back is going to be white, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Well, I reckon I'm going to just detail this whole sanding process for you. And I'll probably call this video the runs, because that's what I'm doing. I'm doing with all these runs. Now this area has still got some moisture. It's drying. But this is the bottom edge of the wing. It didn't give me too much trouble. I got a few little specks of primer sticking up there. It might have been in the gun when I sprayed it, or it could have just been sticking up off the surface, but that's going to get covered up. But as you can see, this leveled out pretty nicely. I didn't sand through any spots, so it's looking pretty good. Get right up here to the corner, the little edges right there. I haven't hit that real hard yet because I've actually got to sand the whole thing lightly tomorrow before we start painting it, putting the graphic stuff on it and painting it. This part here came out real nice. There was a run here and a little one over here. I got rid of them, didn't sand through anything there. Now the graphics are going to cut off right about there. The sparkle, it's going to turn, the sparkle will be on this part, and then this part here will be paint. I'm not going to run the sparkle up the neck. I don't want the neck getting too thick. So it's going to come right around through here and then up onto the top, and it'll also probably catch, the sparkle will be on this part here. I'm not sure yet. I've got a little issue down there where I had to do some body work, so I've got that little pit. So if I do sparkle on that, that'll cover that up. All right, I've sanded this just a little bit so you can see where the runs are. They are pretty bad. This is the worst of the worst of the runs. This one runs most of the way up the back of the body, or the top of the body. This is the edge of the top wing. So you can see right there, that shouldn't be too hard to get out. I'm using the foam block this time that's flexible, so I can get in there and go across real good like that. So let's see if I fare any better this time. Well, that side didn't treat me too bad. I got a couple spots there that I sanded through where those runs were really, really, really bad, but I got it pretty much smoothed out. And then the top edge, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So we're going to be glittering that. So one little spot there, a little depression. Not going to worry about it because it's going to get covered. I'm stopping on the back. I did that. I used the block, the plexiglass block. You really need to use that, especially if you're going to just paint it and do the graphics. You want to get this really smooth. Now you can see there's a few spots that I didn't quite get sanded out. I'll hit those tomorrow when I go over it before I put the tape on and do the paint, because I like to open up the paint that's on here so that the next batch has fresh paint to stick to. Now there's a weird little depression right there in the middle, a little dimple. I don't know how that got there. It wasn't a bubble, it was just a dimple. So there might have been a little dent in the primer. I didn't see anything. And then I've also got one little white speck right there. None of those are going to be any issues when you see what I do to it next. I'm going to go ahead and do the bevels. They're going to come out okay. I'm not worried about them at all. There's no runs. That's just a matter of getting them smoothed out a little bit. And then I'll do the front and show you guys what the front looks like. When you're sanding the bevels, don't just go like hell on them. I've got the foam pad right there that's flexible. And what you want to do is you'll sand them. If you just sand across them with the paper being flat, you'll end up cutting in to the top edge and the bottom edge. You'll end up burning through it. So you can see that the shiny spot right there. That's the middle. The middle part's the hardest to get. And what you want to do is use the very top edge of the sandpaper that's rolled up around this around your foam. And you get in there just with the very top edge. You don't need a lot of pressure. Keep the pressure kind of light. You don't want to dig through it. And so this is kind of a delicate operation doing the sanding the bevels. Okay, so you do it like that, and you wipe it and check and see where you're at. You gotta let it dry. Chances are I probably got that. There's a little spot I can see right down here. You can see the little spots along the edge, little shiny spots. You want to get rid of all the shiny. You don't want any shiny. Very carefully round those edges off, the edges of the bevel. That's pretty good. Good enough for today. So I got to hit it again tomorrow. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I am using 320 grit sandpaper from 3M. There's some old stuff. I'm not sure if they make this anymore. I'm using the 320 because it's faster and it's going to give me a little bit more tooth for the clear to stick to. Now, on this part here, right up here by the neck, instead of using the edge, this part of the sandpaper, I'm going to use the very end because I want to be careful. I don't want to do anything with this part where that jagged edge is. You can see there I left the tape on for 2 hours and that was too long. I should have took it off for about an hour. But I'm going to leave that little bit of blue there, and we're going to work with that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just the edge of the block and the edge of the paper to sand that, because if I use the other side, then it's going to scuff up all this and dig into that, and I'm not ready to work on that part yet. We're doing the graphics on the top, and the neck is going to be another deal. It's done for today. Tomorrow, I'll lightly sand the whole thing, all the area that's getting graphics, and then we'll mask off the graphics and paint it and start putting the sparkle on. All the holes, I'm going to take a drill bit, the proper size, and open them up so that they don't get clogged up anymore, because once I put that glitter on there, it's going to get pretty thick and everything's going to fill in. So I've got all these little screw holes to go around and open up. And other than that, we're done for the day. I'll go ahead and post this video. Please hit like and subscribe and share. And then check back tomorrow night probably. Hopefully I'll have the next part up. I might wait till I've got the whole thing sparkled before I go on and post it. It depends on how long it takes. And then the neck will be a separate video. And thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.